And what you'll notice immediately here is that this is one project for mobile and for responsive web, right? And yeah, we can just go and add a tablet as well. So just add tablet like that, or wearables like so, and save it. Now it adds tablet and wearables to my project set. Again, everything just within one application, right? And
So, welcome to today's webinar on HCL Software Volt MX. First of all, I'd like to welcome our speaker for today, Arun. Arun is an expert on HCL Software Volt MX, and he also comes from the previous Kony company, which have been acquired by HCL Software. So, thank you, Arun, for accepting our request to make this webinar for our customers. Arun, just to give you an idea about the timing, so this is going to be a 30-minute session. The first 15-20 minutes presentation, and then Arun is also going to walk us through some of the capabilities of Volt MX.
sure.
So with that quick introduction, I'll leave the floor to Arun. Thank
Sure.
you, and over to you, Arun.
Perfect. Thank you so much for the warm welcome, and glad to be here. I do have a presentation ready. Nazir, if you could confirm you're able to see this?
Yeah. Yes, we can see that.
Excellent. Perfect. Again, assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Thank you again for joining this joint session organized by Nazir and Resemble Systems. Really honored to be here. The goal for today is that we want to explore how Volt MX and HCL Software can change the dimensions and the value and the outcomes delivered with digital experiences. Hi, I'm Harun Dalabelli. I'm the Global Director for Total Experience and OEM Partnerships at HCL Software. About me, I have an extensive experience of over 17 years with digital and its implications with my beginnings as one of the first few at Kony. This was a company which was basically the founding or the inception to the multi-experience development platform as we see unfold. And personally, I've led product, I've led strategy, I've led sales teams at Kony, and then after acquisition at Temenos. And then now I'm at HCL Software leading a charge to elevate the outcomes with Volt MX and total experience at our customers and our partners. Just a quick note about HCL Software and our presence. So we are really large in terms of our footprint. We have close to about 7,000 employees with full network in about 45 countries. We've about 1.7 billion in ARR, and of course, a really high NPS score, which means our customers who have been working with us and our partners who have been working with us are really happy with the outcomes. And just within the subsection of the 1.7 billion, total experience amounts to about 800 plus customers, and of course, in about 200 million in revenue for us. So that's a really important understatement, just because of the way that we've been building software capabilities within HCL Software. It's meant to make sure that there's a great profitability. And just within the footprint of GCC, we have a great customer portfolio, again, all the way from Dubai government, such as Dubai Police or Dubai Municipality, RTA, and again into Saudi and then Qatar. Pretty much most of the Ministry of Qatar kind of runs on our technology. And global footprint, again, second to none. We are a really big global footprint. About 56% of our Fortune 1000 companies are technically HCL Software customers. So that kind of gives you a scale of our reach, and of course the importance that we play in this ecosystem and marketplace. So I wanted to start off the discussion with the main crux of why we do this, right? So we at HCL, we started to dissect the patterns of how CXOs across various industries, and specifically even CIOs, and looked at their pain points. And the consensus was kind of clear when it comes to the digital experience. They wanted to reduce complexity, they wanted to reduce cost, with a single low-code platform for the entire workforce. And expanding on that pain, the baggage is now heavier for executives. Just within the last few months, AI has significantly disrupted the entire strategy and then the future outlook. And the underpinning thought process is that everybody wants to do more with less, which again comes with its own challenges of cost, risk, security, compliance, and most of all, the premium talent running at peak outputs with a simpler stack. Now, the organization, of course, isn't fragmented just within experienced developers, right? The organization has demands which haven't reduced. In fact, the demand has actually blown up. Now, just with vibe coding and with a few resources, you will not be able to yield the same results that the CXO team is kind of looking for. Now, as the decisions keep getting piled up, every silo unit tries to take control of their own requirements. Now, this will be a bigger struggle for the executive team, purely because there's a huge unknown in shadow AI tools taking over the organization, which would result again in catastrophic failure because there is no guardrails against risk, compliance, scale, or quality. And what this stigma is basically where many analysts have been saying that the fatigue of this wave will hit harder to those who are on an experimentation streak versus those who are going with tried and tested options. And to us, this is how it looks like. So if I have to like deep down into the wave of what that silo wants and what the silo gets, each group of, let's just say, citizen developers or the assisted development or professional development teams, each group is grabbing a mix of tools trying to achieve the 1% more than the other. Again, all together, they're essentially what they're doing is, even though they're solving their own problems, they're actually adding up to the bills. They're adding to the amount of people, the process and technology fees that are required. And doing all this, did the individual silo using this fragmented vendor strategy score anything better than before? The answer is no. They failed on governance, they failed on quality, they failed on cross-team applicability as well, right? So the current emphasis is on using fusion teams that serve IT well for complex products and projects. It doesn't work well for situation apps such as business needs, right? IT needs to be able to provide a curated environment to support and upscale apps when and where needed. And assisted development needs need to evolve beyond this fusion teams and enable citizen developers to be truly successful. And assisted development is more than the common component model or the fusion team. So if I have to visually put this in perspective, this is how it looks like. As a partner and as a consumer, you can see the overlap, which is, again, a bigger pain of what you're trying to get to solve to. And so the compounding effect of this fragmented vendor approach is very painful when it comes to the expenses being adding up, or to maintain the multiple licenses, or the need of the infra. Now, there's also a conflict of skills, which app, which platform within the app, within the organization, and then you're basically expanding the rift within the silos. And the team who had a vision to rebrand or rewrite end up in the same place with either failed implementations or burned budgets. Now, what was supposed to be an ecosystem nirvana is now a pile of burning tires with poor progress and ownership grabs. Now, governance teams again will be in the same battle as before, but they'll be fighting against a lost cause, because in the end, a library of artifacts with no clear reuse is no good for anybody. So you may be wondering, like, why I'm painting such a horror story. Well, this is a hard reality for IT leaders and CXOs that the CXOs are kind of facing today. And to paint this picture a little bit more clearly, when you take tools like OutSystems or Mendix, they're only getting connectors, not a robust middleware. right? You're getting data integration or built-in analytics, but again, they're only part of the equation. They're not. There's nothing on the server side that is included. Then when you provide an application preview, a full app functionality is missing again, and they don't have the ability to collaborate between business stakeholders or the QA teams to get the feedback within the preview mode. Now, this is something that developers will have a lot of problems as they keep progressing on such tools. Now, neither have citizen developers given a proper tooling and proper product set. Now, even vendors like our systems completely acknowledge that they're not designed for citizen developers. Defined for more pro code users, right? And there are no true native apps in this particular case, but they're all built as hybrid applications, which again come with their own baggage of security issues, which again is something that you would have to kind of go into more developer communities, see if there's a plugin available that may help you to bridge these gaps. But then again, you're opening a can of worms that is probably not going to be easily solved. And not being truly native as an outcome perspective when it comes to your deliverables, it also limits various capabilities, right? And namely, if you're into construction business, if you're into application development where a lot of offline usage capabilities are required, they're very limited when you go into hybrid or React Native sort of models. And then for anything you have to do on as an additional thing on top, there is an add-on fees. Like for if you want to do security enhancements like encryption or code obfuscation, swizzling detection, jailbreaking, they're all extra fees that you got to bolt on to new things. But with Volt MX, all of these are directly provided to you within the box as an out-of-the-box solution. Now, this is the future. This is how we do in Volt MX. This is the future of how we are going to delivering with Volt MX today, which is one infrastructure, one license, one platform for all developer tracks with one governance model and one standard security definition. And the proof is in the pudding, right? The outcomes are evident. Now, at HCL Software, we don't just talk about it, we actually deliver it. And as you can see it as a ladder, each step takes you higher and makes you go faster. Now, if you start at the bottommost rung, the bottleneck between your design team and your developer team, you're solving this gap instantly because with our AI-powered platform, you can take your Figma designs and convert them directly into functional application forms. And just like that, you basically cut your UI development time with over 50%, and you're already moving faster than before. Think of tools like Cursor or think of tools like Lovable. You would have to go several loops to kind of get to this process. But if you have a proper design already built with the AI within Figma, you're instantaneously making that into a real-time application, right? But that's just the first step. Now that your UI is created, you attack the core engine, the code itself. Now imagine your developers empowered by AI assistants and the massive library of reusable components. You're now writing code at really fast and 80% less code, right? It's not just that faster, it's actually smarter. It's a single code base for every experience, which means there's less complexity, fewer bugs, and radically simpler maintenance. So if you're a developer profile, you understand how each one of these platforms will have individual needs, and those will have to be compounding every time you have to make a new release. Think of it like iOS, Android, web. Each one will have its own track. But with a single source code, all of them are squashed. So you have less complexity, and then of course simpler maintenance. So you're now building the UI faster. Now you're writing code with 80% less code than what you were doing before. So where does this lead to? It's your business outcome that you're actually going to get to, which is speed, right? By leveraging our pre-built backend services, integration, logic modules, you're not building from scratch anymore. You're assembling from a position of strength. And as a result, you slash your time to market with over 60%. While your competitors are still coding, they're trying to think about proof of concepts, whereas you are already launching applications for your enterprise and for your customers. And that brings to the top of the ladder for us, which is the view for the C-suite. Now, all the speed and efficiency translates directly to your bottom line, which is faster delivery means with fewer resources, means that your total app development costs come down by 50%. And you're not just getting to market faster, you're doing this within the budget, which makes your CFO really smile. Okay, but that's the most crucial part here is that the foundation that the entire library is built on, which is speed without control, is chaos. That's why with HCL software, you ensure compliance from day zero, which means security, governance, testing are all built into the very fabric of our platform. It's not something that you bolt on as an afterthought with the rest of the competition out there. So this isn't just a collection of features. It's actually a proven pathway, a solution that takes you from a slow and expensive to fast, cost-effective, and secure platform. And this is the smarter app delivery model with HCL Software Volt MX. So I've been talking about business outcomes. So now let me actually dive down into the real meat of the problem, right? So what exactly is Volt MX? So Gartner defines this as an industry-leading multi-experience local platform that empowers professional and citizen developers to build engaging experiences across all digital points. And to us, an industry specification isn't a norm, it's actually a given. So if you look at the industries that we serve, we go pretty much horizontal across all the layers. But then again, we have deep expertise that help you to build various applications and digital capabilities within energy and utilities, within construction, within retail, within telecommunications, travel, consumer goods, professional services. Now, how are we tackling this as a unified development platform today? Is that we have a unified code base model where citizen developers can easily ramp up using our product called as Leap. Professional developers who want to see much more richer of an experience as a coder themselves, they can tie into the Iris, and then all of them combine to the server side of our application, which is the Volt Foundry. All these come to work hand in hand, where the main primary goal for them is to give you the digital capabilities and digital experiences that matter for today's use and today's needs. Now, exploring that view even more, what you're trying to help you to get to is, regardless of what you're connecting to at the bottommost tier, down here, regardless of if it is an ERP solution, if it's a CRM solution, if it's an aftermarket sort of a piece, are you connecting to IoTs, you're connecting to web services, it truly doesn't matter for us. We have a unified model where Foundry is able to kind of take in any of these systems, put them into logical APIs, give a security layer on top of that, and then enable the applications, be it wearables, mobile, tablet, desktop, kiosks, chatbots, or even your agentic AI, all again available as marketplace components that you can plug in within Iris or within Leap to enable these digital workflows. So it's a truly an amazing one-stop shop solution for your developer and design needs, where you literally don't have to bother what you're connecting to and where you're leading to. It's pretty much write once and run everywhere sort of a solution set. So clicking down into exactly the product sets that you are going to be looking at within MX is Volt Iris, which is basically where you define, design, and deliver your experiences. And the beauty about this is that it just obliterates your development life cycle for your applications really fast, because you're able to build applications super fast. You're able to look at bring in your Figma designs into your workflows, and then simply click build, and then now you're off to the races to build for iOS and deploy to Android, and of course the web as well. It's the multimodal design. And even if you want to make more changes beyond what you did in Figma, you can bring that into the visual workflow, attach several APIs using Foundry, and then go to market with your native and web applications. And if you have citizen developers, which basically means that you just have a workflow that you need to enable on a digital capability, you bring that into Leap, where you just talk to the AI agent, you talk to the enterprise, and then it automatically helps you to build this capability into a digital application set. And again, both these tools, they're part of MX. They again connect down to Foundry, which is your API layer, which helps you to again bring these multiple backends that we've been talking about, even how distant or unconnected they are. Let's just say you have our ERP on Oracle, you have SAP running your PR and PO processes, you have Microsoft 365 running your another CRM system. All of these don't talk to each other by themselves, but within Foundry, they can enable the data sets that are compatible with your digital capabilities and make sure that they have your digital applications have the ability to kind of cross-reference data and push data to these siloed systems of record. And that's the beauty. Now you're able to achieve more with less here, simply because you have the ability to kind of bring and patch data and then make all of those things available to your consumers and to your developers. So the proof again is in the pudding, right? So a use case that was done by Lufthansa, it's one of the biggest airlines in Europe, where there are a lot of paper processes with regards to how they're tackling logistics, and of course within the aircraft maintenance. All of that basically was kind of solved with by after adapting Leap, and then of course where the employees were able to build their own applications, and they were able to improve the efficiencies really quick. Now, look at the scale of how these guys were building. They were able to build 2,500 apps across the 120,000 users. Now you can see how many apps were required to kind of bridge the digital capabilities, and how they were able to kind of quickly do this within our technology. Another use case is Henkel, which is another manufacturing and consumer goods product based out of Germany. And what they were looking for was a multi-device application solution, where they were trying to bridge gaps that they had in manufacturing, health, and safety, and products quality and logistics. And then MX with Iris and Foundry, we were able to kind of tackle this very quickly. We were able to deploy 15 apps, and then we published those on 500 shared iPads. And then these were the ones that were going around trying to solve the product quality and logistic issues, as well as the manufacturing gaps that they had seen. So quality control and production line were completely optimized, and they were able to scale from just 7 users to 300 users across the global plants, which means you're not now just looking at consumer apps as an individualized run on each device. You're thinking about how these dashboards and how these applications can optimize the overall function of the ecosystem. And one of my personal favorites is this next case study, which is with Ferrari. Now, Ferrari had so many manual processes again with regards to policy compliance right before the holiday season. Now, Ferrari, if you know, they just travel around the world. They need to have everything down to the T when it comes to moving parts of the car at the F1 grid before the timeline, have the team ready there. It's just a logistics nightmare. And with Volt MX, they were able to actually do this thing where they built an application with rapid deployment within 3 weeks, and then they were able to kind of get that going with their teams on the ground. So overall, Volt MX brings a wealth of information and a great platform from from business to IoT. Volt MX provides persona-specific interfaces for citizen and professional developers on a common platform, thereby reducing complexity, cost, and ensuring IT governance. Now, with Volt MX, leaders are at the forefront of native experience innovation to build indispensable competitive solutions, harness super and micro application development techniques, and be more flexible and go to market faster. Ultimex also gives you organizations the efficiency and the agility to reach digital success faster with no limits, secure integration, and no hidden costs and predictable pricing. So it's a win, win, and win strategy for everybody in this equation. So I want to close this, at least the presentation, with a footnote saying that we are here for you to build amazing applications. Don't worry about the skill sets. Just come with an outcome-based mentality. We are here to empower all of your workforces. We are here to start defining your application not on for devices, but actually for the people. We are here to accelerate your innovations with AI. We are here to make you into a digital innovator for your market space, right? So with this, I'll pause and take any questions before we go to see the live product.
Yes, thank you, Arun. So, attendees, if you have any questions, you can unmute and feel free to ask any question. You can also raise your hand on the Zoom.
Yeah, it's clear for us. Thank you for the presentation. It was wonderful. By the way, is this platform is a SaaS mode or it's an ID like VS Code?
Brilliant question. So it is a platform as a service. So think of it like VS Code plus the software running in SaaS. So
Yeah,
since there are a couple of components, Iris is the one that is really VS Code. It shares a similarity with VS Code. But then the APIs and the runtime, everything runs in SaaS or PaaS for you.
Okay,
Now,
what about the community? How large it is the community?
Great question. We have close to about 5,000 citizen developers already on the platform building reusable components. So these are components that are deployed within marketplace. And then of course, I'm just talking about just within HCL, right? Now we have even more bigger SIs who within HCL Tech, which is the services arm for us, there is an even more bigger practice that helps you to kind of get to market faster, because if people is what you're looking for, we got people to deliver for that for you.
Okay, the app which will be developed under HCL Volt MX, which will be a hybrid one, right?
No, it's a pure native application. So if you rip it open, for iOS, you'll simply see Swift code, you'll see C++ code. If you rip it open for Android, you'll see Kotlin code and you'll see Java code.
So that means we need to maintain the two apps separately, or
No. So the beauty about this is that with Flare, which is the underpinning secret sauce, if you will, you're just writing apps in JavaScript, right? In Volt MX, you're writing apps in JavaScript, but when you click build, it's going to do that translation for you and then build it specific as a true native application for iOS, Android. And of course, for web, it goes into HTML, CSS, TypeScript, and all those things.
Okay. It's in case of web applications, what about the hosting? Is there any prerequisites for this?
No. So the beauty about this is that you can technically host it within Foundry. So we provide you a capability to do so. You can take the export out of it and host it by yourselves. Of course, what we would want then is all the libraries that are kind of required for the dependencies, they need to be bundled as well. So that would be additional thing if you're trying to host it by yourself outside of Foundry. But we provide you the full capability to do so. For example, Ferrari hosts on our ecosystem, on our SaaS. Velco is another company that hosts on our tech. Schneider Electric, same thing with us. So it's up to you. If you want to host it on our platform, more than welcome to do so. It's a much more cost-effective way to do than maintaining hardware and then, of course, have the people to do that. Absolutely a game changer for many people who opted to go Foundry route.
Okay, what about the connectivity? If you want to connect with the existing system like SAP S/4HANA or Oracle Fusions, then is any predefined APIs available inside the system?
Absolutely, yeah. So Foundry comes with the predefined connectors to all of those, all of the tools. So SAP, we have a direct connector. For ERP systems, we have a direct connector. For Microsoft, we have direct connectors. So that's the
Okay.
way we are accelerating your development. If you have to keep defining this in white code, it's just going to take forever.
Okay, right now we are using Zapier for connectivity. So is it similar like Zapier?
It's much more advanced on Zapier because what Zapier does is that it gives you just a framework in middle. It doesn't tell you what it is kind of, it gives you a framework in the middle and says, okay, from Zapier, here's the API that you need to call. But what you're doing with that is you're making the raw API call to the back end. You're not doing any data transformation. You're not doing any server-side code. You can do it, but again, it's just a bigger process that you need to go through in Zapier. And then Zapier charges you for every of those transformation costs, right? We don't do that. It's everything built into the code. So you're directly calling SAP at zero cost because it's your own ecosystem. And for us, we don't add any overhead to do these sort of transformations. So we're not charging you per invocation, per flow. We're charging you for the outcome, which is basically if you're running an entire process of, I don't know which industry you're in, Mr. Aslam, but let's just assume you're in manufacturing. If you're doing something from log in to log out, that's what we charge you at one session for, right?
Okay.
So very cost effective for developers and cost effective for the end users.
Okay, could you please explain me the licensing model?
Oh, absolutely. So we are mostly session based for most of the enterprises. So session based basically means you can call unlimited number of API calls within one session if it is between log out and log in and log out, or a complete 4-hour window. So assuming your applications are running 24/7, for me, it's basically six sessions in total. Right.
6 sessions. Okay. Okay, it's clear.
Great. So let's move on with the demo, Arun.
Sure. So let me present my screen again. Yeah, let me know when you're able to see this.
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so what you're looking at right now is the Iris software. I'll just give you a quick walk around of the system so that you understand what's part of this. So I think, Mr. Aslam, it was you who asked, like, is it IDE based or not? So as you can see, it is very VS Code-ish. So I'll just zoom in on the left-hand side first. Left-hand side is basically your project structure. And what you'll notice immediately here is that this is one project for mobile and for responsive web, right? And basically you can just go and add a tablet as well. So just add tablet like that, or wearables like so, and then save it. Now it adds tablet and wearables to my project set. Again, everything just within one application, right? And in the middle is basically our canvas. So this is where you're able to see in real time how this application looks like. Let me go to a better example here. So you can see we have different sizes of your of deployments for iOS, Android, for native and for web. So you can simply switch over to each of these platform sets and you can see how your application would look like before you even kind of go and build this for that particular platform and product set. So that's one big advantage beyond what you get in Figma, beyond what you get in Flutter, beyond what you get in any of those tools out in the market. This visual representation before you do anything is game changer because you're reducing your bugs before they even go into the build mode, right? And then I'll just minimize this on the right-hand side. Move this over, sorry. And what you see on the right-hand side is basically all the properties that are helping you to define and build this, again, in a low-code way, which means all you're doing is toggling these insets and outsets to define how this form looks and feels. And same goes with the way that you define your themes. Now, themes, of course, is you can define it at even at the microscopic layer, which is I want to change the font and the color of this one specific element within the code, or you want to do it at a component level. You build a component that actually matches the needs and requirements of your entire use case set. You create that as a component. Now you have pieces that you can just toggle and then change for that use case. So think of it like Lego pieces that you build together. As you progressively build, you may want to take a section and then put it someplace else and then reuse it for some different use case. So that's how you kind of build and progressively you enhance your application stack. And then on the left-hand side is basically our library of assets. So these are like the building blocks, if you will, of the minutest parts, which is containers and text box widgets and label widgets and so on and so forth, where your developers can simply drag and drop that onto the UI and then build whatever is necessary. Now, along with the default set, you also get some pre-built ones that our customers typically end up using. So it's another great drag and drop element where you don't have to kind of think about how do I do a line graph. So if you drag and drop the line graph into the UI, change the data aspect of where it's supposed to get the data from, and boom, now you have a line graph that is fully functional, right? So it's a very intuitive design interface where you just drag and drop elements, and truly it doesn't matter which place you are in. So this is the login screen for, let me just find my login screen here. Find login, sorry. Login. So this is for registration. So all right, I'm forgetting which one of these forms is, but if you just go to the responsive web again, I can create my responsive layout very quickly, very easily, just within this target set. And the beauty about this is that once you build your UI, your connectivity to the backend is directly controlled within the ecosystem itself. So here you're able to kind of connect to the backend, and then you're able to kind of just go. Sorry, it's trying to do a whole bunch of things. It's able to kind of go and bring you APIs that are already defined in Foundry, and then bring them over to for connectivity. And all you have to do is simply do drag and drop this onto the UI, and then the API is connected to the backend. So for example, if I'm trying to add this, let me do create client. Let me just do a drag and drop this onto the UI. And then it's now asking, where should I kind of drop this into? I'm saying do it on click, and boom, my API is now fully connected. So this is the workflow that the API is trying to do by itself. And this is the power of automatic generation that we are able to kind of bring to the fold for you, right? So this is calling an API to create a client. It's taking parameters from the login page, and it's able to kind of do that very quickly. So that's how fast you're able to kind of define and build and generate. Now, if you go to the build process, you can build it for local. You can build and publish the native, which is if you're running our own software deployment model for internal applications, you can just simply build and publish native. It'll go and build that application for you and give the application ready to go on the devices of your employees within the organization. And same with build and publish web. But publish web, as I said, you could do it internal, you could do it external. With internal, you could just have to like publish web, and then it goes and sits into Foundry. And then now you have a very ready-built web application out to go, right? And the way we do this is also very interesting, right? All you have to do to generate native application is just select the platform that you want to go for. Let's just say today you just built for mobile, and now tomorrow you want to do it for tablet. All you have to do is come here, check that box, and then now just click on build. And that's all you have to do. So that's the power of what the platform kind of gives you, is that operability of jumping between individual form factors, all with a single check mark. Right? Now, if you have to use more APIs, so let's just say you want to build more APIs within the ecosystem, you can use all these connectors that are already there, right? And this is my sample set, right? You can actually go to our backend and you can get a whole bunch of them that are already predefined to go and talk to multiple backend systems. And then now you're able to talk to SAP, Oracle, Microsoft backend, Google backends. It truly doesn't matter. And then you can also connect to OpenAI if you want to do AI-based transformations. Let's just say you want to send data to OpenAI and ask it for some sort of chat GPT response just for that particular use case. You can do that. Or you can bring in a component that already talks to that entire ecosystem within Volt MX. So it's a really powerful use case, powerful platform. This is meant to give developers that necessary boost to build enterprise-grade applications much more faster when even comparing with white coding as a competitor. So we're not just competing to us. Our true competition is, I would say, pure native coding rather than OutSystems or Mendix or any other tools in the market right now. Right. So that's a quick walkthrough, a quick demo of the tooling. Happy to kind of look at individual use cases with Nazir and his team. Happy to kind of understand your pains and your challenges, get you your industry use cases, and then try to solve them at your organization at scale. So again, I thank Nazir and his team to organizing this great webinar. Interesting questions by the team, and hopefully we are here. Hopefully we take your pain points and we take your challenges and solve them and give you a profit share that you deserve for the outcomes that you're creating for your customers and your employees.
Thank you very much.
Nazir,
Thank you very much, Arun, for the wonderful presentation and the awesome live demo. You have actually shown us and shown our customers the real capabilities of Volt MX that write once and deliver across all kind of channels, whether it's a web or mobile devices, even within mobile devices, iOS, Android, wearables, right? And thank you for sharing those couple of case studies, the Ferrari and a couple of others. So fantastic. So with that, we are running out of time. So with that, once again, thank you, Arun, and thank you all the attendees for joining this session. And we'll be there to answer all your questions after the session, and we'll take that offline. Thank you once again. Thank you all for joining.